Hi, I'm Juan Carbonell. At first, I was skeptical about taking a public speaking course, mostly because I don't like to talk in front of people. However, through public speaking, I was able to acquire new skills, discover qualities in me, beat my fears, diminish my anxiety levels, and change my attitude towards public speaking. At the beginning of the semester, I possessed just a few skills in public speaking. My skills were limited to only being able to organize ideas logically and being good at researching information. I still possess these same skills, but I have acquired a few more. I'm able to speak clearly in a less nervous way. At first, I had a tremulous voice, and I lacked confidence when speaking. My audience was not able to listen to me clearly, but now I'm able to talk with a better tone. I also improved my body language, which I had a problem having eye contact with my audience. I used to stare at my PowerPoint presentation the entire time. Now, I try to move my eyes throughout the entire audience so everybody feels engaged and welcome. Additionally, I was also able to improve my posture while giving a speech. Initially, I was not able to stand straight and I moved from side to side. Now, I'm able to be still and stand straight when delivering a speech. I did not only improve my skills, but I discovered that I had skills inside of me that I didn't know about. For example, I was able to deliver all my speeches without the use of flashcards, which helped me seem unprepared and reliable when I used them. I also discovered that I can make my audience laugh from time to time. I did not practice any jokes or funny sentences for any of my speeches, but I was able to improvise some funny phrases while delivering my speeches. I remember my last speech, the group speech, in which my team and I had arranged a speech that had no jokes or funny phrases. After watching the first two groups present, we were nervous that they had given a great speech, that they were funny, and that ours was going to be too serious. I decided to improvise some jokes when it was time for us to speak, which brought confidence to the team and helped engage the audience. The jokes were not as good as those of the other teams, but they were good enough to make the audience have fun. At the beginning of the semester, I feared that my tone was not clear enough. I also feared that I was not being able to connect with the audience, and I was going to forget all my speeches. First, in order to fight my fear of forgetting my speeches, I decided to practice every day for an entire week. When I got used to giving the same speech over and over again, I dropped the flashcards and started saying every speech without them. After my first and second speech, I remember that many of my classmates wrote on their comment sheets how surprised they were that I did not use any flashcards. They also mentioned they did not know how was I able to remember so much information. Moreover, I found after my first speech that my fear of not being able to connect with the audience was due to my body language. In order to connect with my audience and lose my fear, I increased my eye contact with them. I stopped looking at the PowerPoint. This allowed my audience to stay engaged and interested. On the other hand, I lost my fear of having a clear tone by watching the video of my first speech. I noticed how I was not loud enough, and that made my tone not clear enough. I decided to speak louder for my second speech, which indeed helped me deliver a more clear and confident speech. At the beginning of the semester, I felt stressed, nervous, and worried when just thinking of the fact that I was going to talk in public. I remember the day that I delivered my first speech. I was so nervous that I walked to the wrong building and I got late to my first speech. I used to move back and forth, sweat, and lose focus and concentration when speaking. I believe that there will always be some level of anxiety inside of me when it comes to delivering speeches to large audiences. The fact that I am an introvert individual who does not like speaking in public will never change. However, I can adapt to these situations and claim myself to being able to talk in public. Now, at the end of the semester, I can manage my nerves to being able to deliver a confident and understandable speech. I still get a little bit of nerves and I feel pressure, but I no longer lose focus or move a lot during my speeches. So I can say that my level of anxiety has diminished since the beginning of the semester. My tone and body language are no longer affected by the level of anxiety inside of me. I learned to manage my nerves and have a more positive attitude when thinking about public speaking. At the start of the semester, I described myself as a beginner in public speaking, due to a few skills and high levels of anxiety that I possessed every time that I was giving a speech. For example, in my first speech, I was so nervous and lacked so many skills that was easily seen all throughout my body language. I was using my hands constantly to point important things in my PowerPoint. I used my hands too often. At the end of the speech, the TA said they looked like a professional weatherman. It was funny at the moment, but I knew that my lack of experience caused me to overuse my hand gestures. But my third speech, I was able to use my hand as a professional speaker. Many things have changed since I first started this course. I have acquired skills, I have beaten fears, and I have lowered my anxiety levels. However, I still consider myself a beginner in public speaking. These things have changed and have been positive, but I still need to do some improvements in the mistakes that I tend to do when speaking. I believe I need to deliver more speeches and gain more experience to consider myself an intermediate or expert speaker. The good perspective I had about public speaking has increased. At the beginning, I just thought of public speaking as a tool of communication for expressing ourselves, persuading, and informing. However, through many speeches, I now know that public speaking is much more than that. You can get to know people by the way they talk, the way they conduct themselves during a speech. I can remember one classmate in my formative speech. He started talking about food allergies he had and the different ways he had to adapt to these allergies. Through his speech, we learn from his life and the way that he conducts himself every day, something that you will never know if he had never said that speech. This course has allowed me to gain experience in public speaking that I lacked before. I have a more positive attitude towards public speaking, and I can now see more benefits out of it. I no longer see public speaking just as a tool, but also as a way to get to know other people. I have become more confident and less nervous when delivering speech.